This is a story about how every object we see can inspire a creative process within us, from the remarkable to the mundane, weaving an inspirational thread of thoughts and experiences which can end in a masterpiece for all to see. For every one of us, life involves a journey, as profound as from life to death, or as simple as hopping on the train. But why not do it in style and head back to an era where steam engines ruled and every engine was assembled by manpower, painted by hand and manually operated. These days we crave automated processes which allow us to fit more into our lives, enabling us to become more efficient and profitable in what we do. However, these are not the attributes of a master craftsman. In fact, they are the direct opposite. A craftsman must be observant, careful, and above all patient in order to create something which will convey beauty and inspire others. Mechanical objects inspire a feeling of nostalgia, but most of the time they cannot emulate the natural world. And this is where artists and craftsmen throughout history continually draw influence from. Landscape painters and photographers combine man-made structure with nature in the depiction of ancient architecture, either flourishing or slowly succumbing to the environment. The relationship of a ruined fort to nature can create surprising images, which when viewed from different angles forces us to use our imagination further. Back to the journey, this time on modern trains, gliding from town to town, seemingly without effort. Scenes flash past too quickly sometimes to leave an impression. But the careful among you will pick out many differences in the same scene as you go from one season to the next. No one can be immune from the way in which the weather and seasonal changes affect our attitude and outlook on life. Every journey needs a pit stop, and this is where you seek out a nice coffee shop for a short break. Only that this time you can't properly relax. Your eyes are constantly moving here and there, a bit like that pigeon. He can walk or fly anywhere, but he is led by his stomach, and so a coffee shop seems a good bet for today. You notice his bright plumage, unique to him, and certain to help him find a mate in no time at all. This chance encounter formulates the seed of an idea, not that he gives a breadcrumb what you think. He will just waddle on. Real inspiration sometimes only happens when we take a proper break from our 9-to-5 lives. So let's go on a holiday using a classic aircraft from the dawn of aviation. 80 years ago, aircraft were built to last, much like steam engines, which is why they are still airworthy today. Mass production today means that the cheapest materials are sought, and manufacturing standards allow for a built-in obsolescence, which was unthinkable in the first half of the 20th century. Up in the air, and it's a long trip to our destination, somewhere in East Africa. Wave goodbye to the English coast, and thousands of miles later we arrive in a very different country. Here everything in the natural world is bigger. Huge marabou stalks with wingspans up to a metre alight on trees and property, watching the people with imperial stares. Today a group of children play basketball, but one small boy remains aloof. He has used electrical wiring to create his own flying machine. Something from nothing, which adds substance to his lively imagination and nurtures skill he will need in his future years. While he plays outside, Mum is busy making clothing using an old but reliable Singer sewing machine. Back to the United Kingdom, And now we take a look at the work of a stonemason, who creates in a rather different way to those we have described already. Most creativity undergoes a construction process, where elements are carefully considered and added together. However, a stonemason or letter cutter create by removing material from the stone. Forms are shaped or cut using chisels, which are kept sharp at all times. And great care is needed to ensure that no break occurs in the edge of the cut. This takes many weeks to both design and execute, but once finished can produce a memorial or monument which will stand for centuries if looked after correctly. Travelling through the Surrey countryside, we stumble upon a hidden treasure, a small chapel located just outside the town of Guildford. Built and decorated between 1895 and 1904, the chapel was a gift from the artist and sculptor George Frederick Watts and his wife Mary to the village of Compton. Its construction took inspiration from many historical periods, including the Egyptian, Byzantine, Celtic and Art Nouveau eras. Its creation involved many artists and craftsmen, and as a communal effort demonstrates the breathtaking beauty achieved when so many people share a single vision. The scale of the work is immense and is an example of how such exquisite craftsmanship transcends our senses, leaving us emotionally and spiritually affected, to the point where we can question our own place and worth in the world. The day draws to a close, but for many it continues, and as always the hands of the clock never cease. What have you learnt today, and what will tomorrow bring? You can choose how to live, but be prepared for life to surprise you in unexpected ways.